video highlight is brought to you by our wall of famers who make it possible for me to carve time out of my very busy real life schedule and do what it is that I love to do. Be with you. Thank you. Okay, I was instructed to start this video out at 9 minutes and 22 seconds by our beautiful algorithms here. Blessed be the algorithms on DG360.
Yes! Can I get a hit, man? Yes!
This is from Greasy Khaleesi, who I have seen go straight hardcore PvP, no prisoners taken, no questions asked. He is on fire on X. He is upset with anybody that has to do anything with master modes. Completely understand that one, by the way. Tier 0, which we're going to see an example here. And I'm really curious what he has to... there's a gameplay here, I think, where he's coming in, jacking... what is this? Polaris? Let's see here. Let's see. It says hunting the richest players in Star Citizen. Solo capital ship ambush. Okay. And I think this deals with tier 0, but let's check it out.
How you doing, buddy? Do not leave your seat. If you leave your seat, you're gonna die. How you doing, buddy? Flash your light if you can hear me. If you don't flash your light, you're dead. Press T. Press T, buddy.
You can't flash your light in the seat, idiot.
Okay, that's good. That's hilarious.
Okay, sorry about that. I didn't know. Where are you going?
I'm picking up a friend. You can have the ship if you want it, jackass.
I don't want the ship. I want your cooperation.
Then what do you want?
I want your cooperation or friendship.
The ridiculousness of this. This is how bad pirating has gotten. It's hit an all-time low, man. Because I can already tell you what's going to happen here. There's really no consequences right now. And, you know, there's some positives and some negatives on this. The positives are like you pick up from the hospital, you're ready to go. You don't have to worry about re-equipping everything. But in the long term of this, that means it's death of a spaceman, which brings consequences to your decisions and choices in the game by punishing you. And a lot of people don't want to play that way. And that's kind of what Tier 0 did. And I'm going to tell you why Tier 0 is, I think, temporary. Bear with me for a minute. When you're talking about trying to keep asses in seats and revenue flowing in right now at the stage that they're at, Tier 0 is keeping people playing the game. And the largest majority of the people right now are going to be PvE oriented. Okay? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Now, I think short term, if this is a temporary thing, right? And they're doing it because we're in alpha and there's bug issues and, you know, okay, I can be okay with that. Khaleesi is of the ilk where he is just like, don't even put it in, because if you're playing with fire and if you're cool with it now for a temporary thing, it might be a long-term thing. And I get it. I understand it. It is definitely playing with fire, and he's got a very valid point here. They could eventually just be like, yeah, fuck Death of a Spaceman. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to keep it like this because we get more players coming in. We get higher player counts, higher populations, and we're just going to keep it in. But that is not really what was promised to the original people that backed the game. Let's watch now, because I can tell you this guy, for him, what does it matter? Most of the shit Tier 0 that I see on him right now, the armor set, everything, if he dies, he wakes up that way in a hospital bed. I don't know how long this takes to respawn. Maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. I'm not even sure how long this would take. It's a larger ship, so I'm sure it would take a long time to spawn. I'm hoping, but I don't own this. So, you know, let's see. Let's see what is going to happen here.
Like what?
How much is this claim time worth for you? I'll self-destruct it.
Doesn't matter to him.
I don't care. Do it.
You don't care? No risk, right? You don't care, right? You get your armor back.
Do it.
Yeah. You don't care about the claim time? No risk, right?
He's right.
Do it.
I don't want to do it.
Then why did you threaten with it if you don't even want to do it?
Because I don't want that outcome. I just want you to cooperate. I want a small fee to leave your ship.
What do you want?
This is the sad state of pirating. This is the sad state of pirating for people that like this type of gameplay. There is none. They can't loot. There's no incentive for people that want to pirate. Now, a lot of people are like, good. And I disagree with the people that say good. Because it is people like Khaleesi and others that are bringing demand to the game. Now, it might not happen now. People might not understand this. But in the future, when we have an economy, pirates are the people that blow things up or take things from other people and then create a demand, because the people that get it stolen from, they need to go out and buy it again. And this is actually good for people that do industrial work. And generally the people that do industrial work are, guess who? The people that PvE. They're out mining, they're out salvaging, they're out doing industrial work. Soon they'll be crafting. And these are the people that are trying to sell their goods. Now, if in fact we will have a supply and demand economy that skews a little bit more towards player-driven, but won't. They're going to give us a simulated player-driven experience. Very debatable what's going to happen there. But you need people like Khaleesi and pirates, because without them, there is a giant void in demand. And so you will have an excess of supply. It is basic supply and demand economics. So I really want people to understand that when PvEers are saying, you know, this is great, this is good, it's actually cutting off their nose to spite their face. It'll actually hurt them more than help them.
On.
What's it worth to you? What's the claim time on this bad boy?
40,000.
40,000? What's the claim time?
It's 40,000 to expedite it, and it's
Chump change. Chump change.
only 18 minutes. It's not that big of a deal to me.
Wow.
Oh my God.
There's
Do
no
you agree with this? Don't you think the claim time should be longer?
I don't know, man. It's an alpha. There's bugs and shit. I don't really care.
That's my point to people who are so vehemently like opposed to everything right now. I get the concern. It is playing with fire. I understand that this could stretch out further, but like in my mind, I feel this is temporary, and they're doing it because the state of Star Citizen and where it's at right now. And it goes right back to the other highlight we talked about, where you need NPCs to react to people in lawless-based systems and in lawful-based systems, and then in lawless-based systems, anything goes.
You don't really care. See? Yeah. You get your armor back. There's no claim time. There's no risk, right? So this is all pointless. Should I just kill myself right now?
I don't know. That's kind of up to you. I think it's up to us to find the point.
It's up to us to find a point. Holler, what should we do?
I think we should just dome him right in the head, since he doesn't care.
No, we don't stoop that low. We're not CIG. We don't play like that.
Oh,
we don't KOS.
Shots fired, dude.
Well, so where are you picking up your friend at?
Area 18. They're stuck.
Okay, buddy. Okay, don't fly there. You stop the ship right here.
Care.
Okay. So it is 18 minutes. That is a long time. So how about you just throw me like 50K and we'll get off your ship.
See, I have no guarantee that you'll actually get off my ship.
Well, I would have killed you by now.
Now, Koob is very frustrated and he's angry, and he says, don't blame Sig for your lack of imagination on how to have fun in game other than pointing your pistol at players' heads. This is a legitimate form of gameplay, though, Koob, and it should happen in lawless-based systems. My point is this. You can be as mad as you want about this, but what Khaleesi is doing should be actually able to happen in a lawless-based system where anything goes. Otherwise, you are taking gameplay that is fun for others away from them. And in an MMO, I don't think that's a smart move. I think that's pretty damaging, actually. Koob says, berating the player for not caring if he blows his ship up and gets his arm back is not legitimate. If there is an area that is unsafe, this type of gameplay should happen. And it should happen for the reasons I stated prior, because without these people, there is no demand. Unless AI comes in and gives us false supply and demand economics, and that is why I'm such a big proponent of player-driven economies. Because AI can come in and skew things however it wants in terms of supply and demand, simply by coding it that way. And that's why I'm always against a lot of AI doing the economic work. That's why I always love player-driven economies in an MMO, because it is the hardcore, stone-cold truth of supply and demand. It is exactly what the market is. It's exactly what the real world market is, and that is what I love about a true player-driven economy.
And I'm only asking for 50K.
He's just all Greasy's trying to do in a very elaborate way is just show you why it is important to actually have consequences in a game. This guy feels no consequences at all, Coop. To him, he dies, he wakes up, all his armor's on, ship comes back in like 18 minutes with a 40,000 fee, which is absolutely nothing. And do we really think that's all that should happen in a situation like this is 40,000 creds on a large cap ship? I mean, I don't know, man, because this will carry through into other factors. This will carry through into organizations that fight one another. And if this type of shit happens and they lose a cap ship, that means that they can basically be back in the game fighting for their fleet in 18 minutes or less for 40,000 credits. That's bullshit. As a fleet commander, as somebody that like PvPs, right? They can come in and they can literally come back in 18 minutes with a cap ship. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that is bullshit. But it's alpha. Right. But again, and why I say this is not as big a deal as Khaleesi's making it is because right now, I feel like a lot of this shit is just temporary to keep asses in seats, and we need a proper structure in terms of the game design when it comes to security. We go right back to the point we made on the last highlight.
Careful. Get on, go. Okay, careful, bro. Bro, what are you doing? What are you doing, you monkey? Are you stupid? What are you doing?
Yeah, I think he's pretty dumb. I think he thinks this is like a running track.
What was that?
And he wants to do sprints.
Are you still there, buddy? Oh, look. We could have looted. He has... Yo, Heim, look what he has. He has the new...
Damn.
That's the best weapon in the game. We can't loot it.
Well, what a nice guy. Thanks for bringing it to us.
No, it's not.
No, it's not lootable. You can't loot it, dude. Like this guy is a little slow here. He doesn't understand what's happening. You can't loot it. That's an issue.
Not, dude, we can't loot it. It's tier 0 looting. You've been gone so long, we can't loot it. Because CIG has this dog shit tier 0 looting, bro. We can't do anything.
What kind of shenanigans is this?
Try to loot it.
Yeah, Khaleesi's done some pretty crazy shit. You're right, Limitless. Yeah, and they're very extreme. Yes, you're right, Limitless. But this is the thing. What he's doing is he's showing you a real gameplay example of why tier 0 is long term. If this is the way that it's going to be, very bad for Star Citizen. In my opinion, if this sticks this way, oof.
Look, try to loot it.
But I'm a hard-working pirate.
We're hardworking.
How am I supposed to make anything out of this then?
Okay, brother, we gotta self-destruct this. They're gonna come back. There's a marker. They have a marker. Okay, you ready?
Yep, I'm good. Matter of fact, I'm getting a head run. Let's start.
DJ says, but to be fair, if tier zero didn't exist, would he even be carrying that weapon around? Aha. Now we're talking about consequences, DJ, right? Right, because now you have to make a different decision, right? And putting accountability and putting that into the game makes for a more realistic experience in the game, which means cooler battles, cooler economic gameplay, cooler shit for PvEers, because now there's more demand and they're selling more. Like it's a waterfall. It's a giant waterfall that stems down into everything, and I don't think people quite get the implications of what this is if it's long term. Now, let me reiterate. Let me be clear. I don't think this is going to be long term. I think this is going to be temporary. I think that Chris doesn't want it this way for a long period of time.
Oh, there it is. Boom!
Oh dear me, what is happening in Star?
Okay, so anyway, that was just a little cut of Khaleesi showing what I think would be an issue if this were a long-term issue. Now, I know a lot of people were upset at master modes as well and the change on master modes, and we know that we're going to get flight changes yet again. We've seen that flight changes happen over 6 times of my experience with this project. So again, I think the game is continually evolving, that the changes will happen. I think the flight experience has to be top-notch and can't just be super simple. I think that you'll see that maybe they'll start making industrial ships be a more simplistic experience, and maybe the militaristic type ships more of a complex experience if in fact they can code it that way. However, they are working on a new flight model, and therefore the people that were upset about master modes eventually can try a new flight model, which will always evolve and always change. And I think that's what we're seeing here with Tier 0. We're seeing this as a temporary fix for something that happens to be people losing their gear to bugs and issues that are frustrating, and they need to keep asses in seats and keep the revenue. But like I said earlier, this is like juggling knives on fire, and you have to be very careful about this. You're getting into an area that could eventually piss off more people like Khaleesi that have the same kind of mindset. In terms of the mindset with Tier 0, again, I think it's temporary. So, all right. So it's so polarizing. People, it's also very polarizing. That type of gameplay, people get pissed off about everything. And you got to always I'm trying to state things. I'm trying to be as rational as I can, and like trying to get the whole situation and explain it in game development. Right. Hugh says, I see pirating as a valid type of gameplay, but piracy right now is not worth it. Right. For those very reasons, Hugh. Right. So what happened is you took gameplay away from a group of people. I mean, by doing that, what happened is it took gameplay away from a group of people. And the people who are happy with it are saying, well, you guys are just a bunch of griefers. And that's just too black or white for me. It's a very valid game style in an MMO to PvP. But again, the areas need to be clearly labeled and reaction times need to happen from NPC. And we get into that same argument. We get into that same kind of, game dev, game design, reaction time from NPCs in lawful based. Everything goes in lawless, and it's just Eve has it down perfectly. It just needs to be copied. Security systems just need to be copied, and again, it goes right back to server tech. It's a giant this is why I've seen other Star Citizen content creators criticize me for this viewpoint, and I think it's absurd that they don't understand how important stability and server tech is. Stability and server tech will directly affect how NPCs can react to us in all situations, because latency and lag issues will be gone. And because of that, they will be able to react in the manner that we want to see them react. And therefore, you can code it so that these things will actually react and pwn your ass in lawful based systems. I've seen a lot of content creators criticize me for that viewpoint, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.